Welcome to the next module, the first module on sleep. This is the 6 low to no cost practical ways that you can implement to improve your sleep tonight and forever. Because sleep is one of those things that can have an absolutely gargantuan effect on overall health. In fact, it is the foundation of all other pillars of health, right? You have sleep, stress management, overall daily activity, you got nutrition, you got exercise. Sleep is the foundation of all of those pillars. It is the absolute best thing that you can do for improving longevity, brain health, hormones, metabolism, mental energy, mental clarity, as well as just exercise performance as a whole. If they made a pill that could replicate the power of sleep, it would be considered an illegal substance in sports. That's how powerful sleep is. And just 3 nights a week of like a 7 out of 10 quality or less will create a hormonal profile reflecting that of somebody a decade older. So, with that being said, let's jump right in. Here are 6 low to no cost ways that you can improve your sleep tonight, like right away. So, number one, getting morning sunlight, AM sunlight, 10 to 15 minutes. A good night of sleep starts with how you start your morning. I got this tip from Dr. Andrew Huberman, PhD in neuroscience and neurobiology, and it's been an absolute game changer because most people will wake up, they'll hit the snooze button, they'll try to get 10, squeeze in 10 extra more minutes, will actually throw off the brain's natural signals, which releases more cortisol, more stress on the body, and actually leads to an even slower, sluggish morning with no extra energy because that 10 minutes didn't actually do anything for you. Same with those who just kind of wake up and start scrolling on their phone or like stare at a screen, watch TV, whatever. They release more cortisol and they start their morning. Therefore, their next evening, and then they kind of get this kind of wired but tired feeling, right? It's a more stressful way to start the day, and therefore a more stressful way to wind down. Your body doesn't get the proper recognition of what time it is, and so you kind of get this wired and tired feeling, make it a lot harder to fall asleep than the following night. All the blue light in our environment from our screens, TVs, phones, all these sort of things really throws off our brain's ability to know what time it is of the day. And our entire body works on a clock, the circadian rhythm, your pituitary gland, which is responsible for hormonal harmony, digestive system, nervous system, immune system, reproductive hormones, reproductive system, mental energy, cortisol rhythm, temperature regulation, thyroid gland. It's all tied to that circadian rhythm, our internal clock. And getting sunlight first thing in the morning helps set that clock. So getting morning sunlight the moment you wake up, or as soon as after you can after waking, like when you wake up, your body is craving 3 things: water, movement, and sunlight, right? And so making sure we're getting that, we can get that super easily if we actually have a drink of water and then get out and go for a morning walk. If you have a dog, this makes it super easy. But like bonus points if you get like a good electrolyte drink, like if you get a good electrolyte powder covering all those bases, because your body's kind of an asshole. Your body doesn't actually absorb water very well, but it does absorb electrolytes, and water bonds to electrolytes, and so you need that, right? So having some sort of sodium, potassium, and magnesium kind of packet would be phenomenal. I like a complete. I have an electrolyte powder that I put first thing in the morning. When you take that with you on that 10 to 15-minute walk with the sunlight, you'll actually end up starting your morning with a lot more physical and mental energy than a cup of coffee ever could do for you. But you'll also avoid that mid-afternoon crash because you skip the coffee, and so you'll be more focused, and you're really setting your night of sleep up for massive success. Now, I know a lot of people will be up in arms when we talk about coffee. So I'm not saying don't drink coffee. I'm saying make it so the first thing that enters your body is like electrolytes and sunlight. If you could do that first before having your cup of coffee, you will be so set, and you'll really do a really good job at avoiding that kind of mental slump later on in the day. We as humans are meant to rise with the sun and fall with the moon. So getting morning sunlight tells the brain that it's time to get up, be alert, and do daytime things and attack the day. And what it also does is it signifies to the brain that we need to release melatonin and serotonin 12 to 14 hours because we'll be so we can actually get a more deep, restful sleep. So number one, get sunlight first thing in the morning. Number two, you're going to see a theme here: mid-afternoon sunlight, 20 minutes. give or take. Sunlight exposure really expedites the buildup of something called adenosine, or sleep pressure, as Dr. Matthew Walker calls it, who's a sleep specialist. And it's basically why you're so wiped out after a beach day. It's because you're out in the sun. Sun exposure has this tendency to make you feel tired, to actually feel sleepy, and actually help you conk you out. And so, like, this early to mid afternoon sunlight once again regulates our brain's ability to determine the time of the day, and actually build up adenosine and build up that sleep pressure, and actually reduces inflammation in the brain, which is, by the way, the most common cause of brain fog is brain inflammation. Adenosine helps flush that out. In the evening, all that adenosine that's been built up gets released and binds to the adenosine receptors in your brain, which tells it to produce and release melatonin. Getting outside anywhere between noon and 2 is an absolute game changer for sleep quality, mental clarity, and really improving that overall mood and creativity for the later half of the day. Number 3, this one should be obvious. I feel like it's self-explanatory. Rigorous exercise. Give your body a reason to be tired. We're meant to move. We as human beings are meant to move a lot. Like, of course, you don't sleep well when you sit in bed, sit in your car, sit at your desk, then sit on the couch, and then get back in bed and repeat the next day. Of course, you sleep like shit. Of course, you have no energy. You don't deserve it. You haven't earned that rest. You haven't earned a proper recovery to make you feel vigorous and alive, right? If you don't exercise regularly, which is like 3 plus times a week in the gym, and you tend to be very fairly inactive, you end up with this kind of mentally slow, sluggish performance, but you're not actually feeling sleepy. Like, you're tired and drained, but for whatever reason, you can't fall asleep, right? Or you end up feeling abnormally sleepy, but you have no energy no matter how much rest you take. Like, it doesn't matter how much you sleep, it doesn't matter how late you sleep in, it doesn't matter. You always feel tired all the time. You have no energy because you haven't earned your rest. You haven't earned your rest. You haven't built up that sleep pressure to actually earn a good night's sleep, right? Getting outside, walking, it's another way to help build up adenosine in the brain. And then vigorous activities such as like strength training really ramps up the adenosine in the brain due to the ATP being used. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. ATP is the energy currency within the body. And when you exercise, especially hard in the gym, like you're sprinting, you're jumping, you're lifting heavy, all those sort of things, you end up building, what ends up happening, you end up using more adenosine triphosphate. What happens when you do exercise, vigorous exercise, your adenosine and then the triphosphate molecule will split off. The adenosine goes into your brain and the triphosphate goes to your muscle. And so the adenosine builds up so much better, so much faster when you start adding vigorous exercise. Going to the gym, lifting heavy, struggling through physical work builds up adenosine faster than anything you'll ever do. Simply put, you need to earn your rest. Give your body a reason to be tired at the end of the day. Number 4, cutting caffeine 8 to 10 hours prior to bed. I hear people all the time, every day, I sleep like shit and I don't know why. And then I see them with a cup of coffee in their hand at 4 in the afternoon. Like, no shit, you're sleeping like garbage. Caffeine's half-life is about 6 to 12 hours for most people. Yet so many people, again, reach for that afternoon cup and then wonder why their sleep sucks. Like, that's why, because if you have 200 milligrams of caffeine at 4 p.m., then at 10 p.m., you have around 100 milligrams still in your bloodstream, which will prevent adenosine from binding to the receptor and doing its job. Caffeine and adenosine look very similar on a molecular level, and so the brain can't differentiate the two. And so caffeine binds to the adenosine receptors and then blocks adenosine from doing what it needs to do, right? And this is the mechanism that caffeine uses to prevent you from feeling tired. Like, that's the thing that wakes you up, is that it attaches to your adenosine receptors and blocks the mental fatigue. So stop doing that. Stop giving your body a reason to not be tired, right? We don't need more help. And so we have that when we have caffeine and it lasts for so long in the day, it bonds to those adenosine receptors, and then adenosine, that thing we've been talking about a lot today, just can't do its job. So we need to cut caffeine anywhere between 6 to 10 hours before going to bed, and watch how much deeper you sleep. And by the way, it does not matter if you feel it or not. A lot of people are like, oh, I can drink a cup of coffee and go right to sleep. No, you cannot. You'll never reach a deep sleep. You'll like at best, you'll reach stage 2 sleep when there's 4 stages, right? There's stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. We want to be in stage 4 as often as possible. If you're drinking coffee, if you have caffeine or alcohol for that matter as well, you will never reach beyond a second stage. And so you'll never actually achieve that deep sleep. And guess what? You wake up feeling tired, you wake up feeling drained, and you feel like you're sluggish. You're just not able to move throughout the day, even though, oh yeah, I got my 8 hours, but it's like, yeah, but you never achieved a deep level of sleep. And so that's why you feel like shit. Number 5, you're again running with this theme, evening sunlight. 15 to 20 minutes. Getting out during sunset boosts serotonin and solidifies that internal clock, that circadian rhythm. Just like the sun waves in the morning have a certain resonance that wake you up, evening sunlight does the same thing, but the opposite. It tells the brain that it's turning to night and it's time to prepare to do nighttime things, which is sleep deep so you can recover for the next day. Walking in of itself is a great way to lower cortisol levels, your stress hormone. So going for a walk in the evening just after a meal is a double whammy for controlling cortisol. Like, why is this important? Because the body is stressed, it cannot sleep. It will not produce melatonin or serotonin, which are responsible for falling asleep and staying asleep. So we need to make sure that if we get outside, let that sunset, that setting sun, that like descending sun over the mountains, whatever it is, let that hit your eyes, so that your brain knows what time it is. You know, your brain knows, okay, now's the time to release the adenosine. Now's the time to release and produce melatonin because I need to drop stress levels. And so now we're actually going to set ourselves up for a really good night's sleep. So those are the first 5, and they are so good. Like, these work wonders in getting our body to work naturally with the sun and getting our circadian rhythm back on track. Now, these first 5, by the way, are free, totally accessible. Like, you can get outside, you can hit the gym, you can exercise, you can go for walks, like all these sort of things. These are all sort of things that allow you to that are perfectly free and allow you to really kind of solidify this internal rhythm, this circadian rhythm, and allow yourself to get good sleep. The last one that I'll talk about here is this one's going to cost a little bit. It's getting magnesium threonate or glycinate to start sleeping like a brick. Magnesium threonate is known for its ability to cross the blood-brain barrier very effectively, which makes it particularly beneficial for enhancing cognitive function, memory, brain health. And while it's not primarily marketed as a sleep aid, it can help calm the brain and reduce cortisol levels, which then helps reduce chronic brain inflammation, as well as induce relaxation, which then could lead to a better night's sleep. And by increasing the threonate levels in the brain, magnesium threonate can help regulate the neurotransmitters such as like the GABA receptors in the brain, which then promotes, again, more relaxation and reduces brain activity overall, and therefore won't interfere with sleep when you're trying to fall asleep. Magnesium glycinate is a combination of magnesium and glycine, glycine is an amino acid that has calming properties. It's also really good for gut health and really helps improve sleep by lowering your body's core temperature, which then helps promote relaxation. Right, when it's nighttime, it's colder, and that's another physiological response that your brain goes, oh, it's nighttime, it's time to sleep. Right, so getting magnesium glycinate helps lower your body temperature, which promotes better relaxation. And when combined with magnesium, it has that enhanced overall calming effect, which makes it a very popular option and powerful option for improving overall sleep. Magnesium glycinate has a more direct impact on sleep than compared to threonate. It helps promote that sense of calm, relaxation before bed, makes it easier to fall asleep, staying asleep, and improve overall sleep quality. Now, those are the 6. Those are the 6 low to no cost options for improving your sleep tonight. Now, I have a little bonus one. It's a really quick one. This is simple. Cut the screen time an hour before bed. Blue light from screens raises cortisol levels, and when cortisol is present, melatonin and serotonin cannot be released. So that's super simple. Cut the screen time, start getting ready for bed, go for that nighttime walk, take a bath, get relaxed. That's your time to like cut the screens off, relax, wind down, don't answer emails like you're done, just start winding, take a bath, read a book, walk the dog, whatever it is, but like get away from the screen so we can start actually winding down. And I want to make a note here because I talked about the 5 low to no cost, and then I talked about a supplement, right? And people are way too eager to jump on the supplement train. But the reason why I left it to last is because it is the least effective if everything else is not in order. Like, if you're not getting morning sunlight, if you're not getting afternoon sunlight or evening sunlight, if you're fairly sedentary and you're not very active, if you're not exercising regularly and not giving yourself a reason to be tired, if you're not physically challenging yourself, struggling with something, like if you're not, and if you're still staring at screens to start and end your day and you're loading up on caffeine, the magnesium glycinate and threonate will not help you. But if you do have all those in order, you'll feel an incredible boost when using glycinate and threonate, right? So Those are the 6 with a bonus 7th one, free ways that you can implement right now today to start seeing a difference in your overall sleep quality. We know how important sleep is, so I always want to talk about it. But here's the thing. It is now time to go implement. So don't just watch this and then, yep, and then do nothing at all, right? Pick one and make a plan to implement it into your day. We all have busy lives, so don't try to overwhelm yourself by making all the changes. I want you to pick one thing, one off this list. And once that becomes a habit, pick another one and so on and so forth. Don't try to do it all at once and then give up. If you can realistically and consistently make 2 to 4 changes, go for it. Like by all means. But most people, we're way too busy, and we have a tendency to overreach. And we overreach, we get burnt out, and we can't maintain and stay the commitment. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to make a plan to implement 1, maybe 2 of these things. If you feel really good about it, then maybe a 3rd thing, but then get really good at those things and then move on and start adopting new ones. So for those in the academy, please text your coach, message them, and let them know which method you're going to tackle first so they can help you with the implementation. I do have another module on sleep, but do not tackle that until you have these in order. These are by far the more important things that you could be doing. With that being said, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.